Hello everyone and welcome to the International Racing League. This is the 24th round of the 27 race season, and the series is quickly heading to its finale, or at least the season is. The major news item entering the round of North Carolina is that Hiro Hamada's near-fatal accident, note how I said a near-fatal, he survived the incident, and unfortunately probably isn't racing again. That was been really the only major news item. To the surprise of absolutely no one, Universal Motorsports have been dominating this race weekend. In fact, they led all the practice sessions and grabbed the pole position. Let's take a look at that pole sitter right now. Nate Orman is trying to go 3 in a row, something that hasn't been done earlier in the year by the driver sitting on his outside view of Ling. Row 2, Chris Regazzoni and Pilar Lamont. Lamont probably would have set the track record, but he hit the wall, exiting turn 4. Row 3, Lou Grainer and Ace Smithley. Grainer, great effort by him. Smithley continuing Roy's excursions, along with Rich Roy, who's on the next row. Alongside Rich Roy is Matthew Evans. Row 5 is Brandy Thorne and Kyle West. Both A cars have been doing great this weekend. Row 6, Ryan Raver and Iapo and Selmy. And some of the third and final Roy cars, and this is Roy Inc.'s home race. First of two. Remember, Roy is born in North Carolina, spent most of his time down here, and has a team factory located on the Outer Banks, which is a couple-hour drive east of us. However, the primary factory and where he resides is in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, which is where we're going to in a few weeks' time. Anyways, Ryan Rickshaw and Bill Gardiner are in row 7. Row 8, Jeffrey and Tim Kortzing. Row 9, Everett Masana and David Bison. Row 10, Gase Braun, Murray Andromeda. Andromeda making another one of start. Row 11 has Danny Marco and John Ox. Ox's teammate is behind him, or not directly behind him, but positionally behind him. And alongside him is Jackson Storm. Row 13, Jake Bennett and Nick Garrison. They both win and more. Row 14, Caitlin Tanner and John Newgood and Harold Motorsports home race. Row 15, Sally Susan and Wesley Jewell. Row 16, Edmund Berlund, who won more, and Allison Holiday. Victoria Antonov and Devin Butler the next row. Butler definitely wanted more. Jared Jackson and Keegan Reagan. Jackson, this is team's home race. The other Jackson, who's unrelated to him, is on the next row, and starting on his inside is Casper Ackerman. And Lou Hemmington is starting last. Hemmington is starting last because of a few penalties that he occurred in the round of Florida. Mainly driving his car directly into the stricken 61 car and ignoring yellow flags. The round of North Carolina has been basically on the schedule since the series introduction. It's also considered the Charlotte Motor Speedway, which is where we're at this weekend. It is considered the home of auto racing in the South. This is being, the American Racing League has had their endurance race here, the Road 600, and along with the Daytona 500. This is where I think one of the few tracks that has had a race in every season competition in the IRL. With that being said, enough of me saying how good the IRL is, when in reality it isn't. Let's get on with the round of North Carolina. Nate Orman trying to go 3 in a row, something that is, it's been done this season, but very hard to do, leads the field to the green flag. And away we go here. And Charlotte, he gets a great start over Viola Ling. Chris Regazzoni is going to follow him through, entering turn number 1 and exiting turn number 2. Good start, clean start, looks like all around. No one has really any issues. Lou Hemmington, you see the 2 car in the background trying to make ground. Iapo and Selmy, as we mentioned, the grid piece, is back. He's running this race in the round of Pittsburgh and Roy Inc.'s 2 home races. There's a lot of support for the all 3 Roy Inc. cars, and the crowd gave a huge cheer for Rich Roy as Murray Andromeda almost gets hooked by John Ox. Coming down the back straight, John Newgood is also back. This is Harold Motorsports' home race. Harold Motorsports, of course, a IRL team. Jared Jackson, the 7-time IRL champion and 3-time ARL champion. probably the most successful stock car race ever to inhabit this planet, is making his way through the field. D. Thorne and Regazzoni 3 wide with one of the Team Star USA cars, that being Ryan Raver, whose career is on the line. He's getting help from Ryan Rickshaw and Iapo and Selmy, the Finn. Nate Orman still leads, to the surprise of absolutely no one. Raver's going to try to keep up the inside, but can't stay at the racetrack. Rickshaw's right underneath of him, and Selmy's going to run underneath the pair of them. It's kind of embarrassing that the part-time driver is running better than the 2 full-time drivers at Roy Inc. Then again, I think all 3 Roy Inc cars are into the top 15, so I don't think there's any complaint. As coming down the back straight, 3 wide still for second, and Selmy has now finally cleared the Team Star USA cars. D. Thorne's going to make it 3 wide for, I think there's a 7th Roy underneath of them. I know how much these two get along. Down, exiting the front stretch, entering turn 1. And I think there's contact. Yes, there is. Roy's in the wall. Both Raver and D. Thorne are up and over. And that's the first caution of the day on lap 6. A little early for them to be doing that. D. Thorne upside down. Don't know what caused that. I think the 29 and 35 both came down on the 13. And that looks like exactly what happened. Roy and Raver, moved in the racetrack. There's a big accident past these guys. It looks like a few cars got cleaned up, trying to avoid this wreck. Here's looking at Jake Bennett. There's the crash, and yes, that did involve a few cars. Regazzoni's at Ace Smithley, and that's 2 of the 3 Roy Inc cars. It looks like Lou Hemington has damage. There's a few other cars I can't tell involved. There's a black car. Here's Lou Hemington on board. We're going to get a better view of this. There's the crash. Field comes to the racetrack and collects a few people. John Newgate gets a piece of it. And looks like Mary Andromeda trying to avoid this accident, and Hemington piles to the 22% reason. Regardless, Hemington's day is done. That's a huge blow for his independent trophy lead, or attempt. I don't think he has the lead yet. And Selmy takes the green flag, and that 96 car is slow. He was that black car that was on the apron, the other black car that was on the apron. That 96 is severely damaged. Jeff Reed restarted 3rd. Great pit work by the Richard Racing cars, or team. Though Nate Orman's going to take that advantage. You can see John Knox, car number 96, very, very slow. That car's damaged. They got all the cosmetics fixed, but that's not going to fix the inside. Nate Orman himself getting past the 53 car, however, he's fallen behind the 50 and 12 of Thompson and Tim Courting. Danny Markham making his way through the field. Points later, trying to make as much ground as possible. After starting deep in the field, his teammate is out of this race, though I don't think it's going to bother him too much. Here comes Pierre Lamont making the move underneath Iapo and Selmy, is going to try to fight this on the outside, but doesn't fight too hard. And here comes Ryan Rickshaw in the 84 car. The correct Ryan. There's 2 more Ryans in the team. John Knox is going a lap down, trying to hold his line for the 3 leaders decide to split him. Knox, from outside Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, doing his best to hold a line. However, he's going to get caught by more lap cars and moves right in front of Silly Souza for some reason. That's going to bring out the second caution on lap 20 of 160. Oh, and Victoria Antonov and Gase Bryan nowhere to go. Allison Holiday also involved. Big crash early on. Another one. Don't know why Victoria and the company decided to go full steam. Okay, Antonov's in the ground. Oh. Okay, maybe that wasn't necessarily their fault. Looks like the 96 slid down the racetrack and there's nowhere for those guys to go. They were kind of off the gas, but unfortunately, Victoria Antonov is done. Pierre Lamont leads in the restart. He caught and Selmy sleeping. I think Rickshaw also did because he looked low for a moment, but regardless, great start made by the 59 car. And he's going to start to pull away from the field, though I don't know how long that's going to last. Lamont had yet to win this year, surprisingly. See if you can change that. Here comes the 84 car of Ryan Rickshaw. He's got Nate Orman underneath of him, and Orman is going to take the lead. Entering turn number, or not, he's going to take 3rd, entering turn 1, or exiting turn 2, and he's going to clear the 84 car. Orman going to make a move, or make a run on the 20 car of Iapo and Selmy. Nate Orman is on a historic run. He was deep in the points, deep being relative, Grant. This is not including the Team Rocket cars. He was a bit behind the top 5 now points. However, he's making a historic charge to come up to the point standings, and considering most of his title rivals have had issues, well, it's winning everything is making that so much easier. He's going to get around Apple and Selmy. Don't know if they're going to play team orders over there, considering that this is a pack race. Third and fourth place cars are not too far behind them. But regardless, Nate Orman coming down the back straight, entering turn number 3. Not close enough yet, though he's looking low, and Lamont is sliding up the racetrack. Here, Lamont, as I mentioned earlier, has yet to win a race this year. That's kind of surprising. Lamont has had the speed that Orman has, though I think Orman has just been a tiny bit better. As they enter or exit turn number 2, Orman, wow, Lamont throws a block on this 24 car. Lamont really fitting for keeps. Don't think the team wants that, especially I don't think Orman wants that. But all is fair in love and war, and technically this is a war, a war of cars. Anyways, Orman holding on. Orman not gonna make a move on his teammate. Lamont headed him off for as long as possible, but I think Orman caught him a bit off guard. Here comes in Selmy with them. Car 20 pushing car number 24, and Selmy, he looks like he's the only car that may have a match for these runouts, and he's gonna go around the inside. He's gonna try to power around along the 24. Orman is gonna lead this lap, but let's see. By the time, if that's the same by the time they enter turn 1, looks like it. And Selmy, they're giving it all they work. Lamont throws it underneath the 24 car as well. He's going to push the 20 to the lead. Aopo and Selmy is Roy Inc.'s last hope for this race, and he's putting on quite a show for the home crowd. Though, looks like Lamont is going to give him a bit of a bump, and by the time they're turn 1, he's going to be underneath the inside of Aopo and Selmy, coming down the back straight. And looks like Ryan Rickshaw's caught these guys as well, because Rickshaw's underneath the 24 car. Tim Courting also in the background. Lamont takes the lead in turn 3, and by the time they're in turn 4, he's going to be well ahead of the 20. That he's going to slot, Tim's going to slot in line behind them. They catch Gase Bryan, the lap car, who is damaged holding his line. And this is going to cost Nate Orman a few positions. He's going to go down to 4th, maybe 5th. Gase Bryan moves out of the way, but that's where Matthew Evans shows up, and he's going way high. So Gase Bryan being a good lap car. Matthew Evans and Everett Masana had a moment. It wouldn't be good for Masana's title hopes. Here is the 56 car not paying any attention, slides up in front of the 87, and that's going to cause another caution in lap 41. Keegan Reagan, BL Lang, Jeffrey, and David Bison involved. A big crash during turn 3. Gase Bryan and Ada Jackson pile in for some reason, and Keegan Reagan has some acrobatics. Looks like Holiday's moving the racetrack for some reason. Holiday's a lap down, not racing these guys for position. Don't know why she felt she needed to do that. Jeffrey kind of just ran out of spots to go. I don't know what Gase Bryan and Ada Jackson were doing that on the apron, but regardless, more cars are out of the race. Under this caution, here's Aopo and Selmy pacing. A good run. Oh, I just jinxed him. Aopo and Selmy's engine gives up under caution, and that's going to put all 3 Roy Inc. cars out of the race. A disappointing day in their home race for Roy Inc. Nate Orman took the lead in the pit stops, and he's going to try to pull away from his teammate and Tim Courting, though that doesn't seem to happen. Casper Rackman fell a lap down into the pit cycle, and Wesley Jewell has a whole bunch of damage. This is why he's off the pace. Though Ackerman is about as fast as the leaders. Orman's going to try to pull away, but he's got Nate Orman following him. Orman really pushing the 24 car down, or Lamont really pushing the 24 car down back straight. Tim Courting trying to keep chase alongside Ryan Rickshaw back in the field. Danny Marker trying to make his way through the field. He has clawed his way up inside the top 10. He's trying to get past Everett Masana, who's just, I think, one of his direct title contenders. And that's a crash. Danny Marco and Viola Ling got together. That's going to draw some eyes, considering Ling's is Marco's teammate. Let's see if we can review of it. Looks like the 79 and 12 made from that angle. The 79 and 12 made contact, and that put Marco up into the 11 car. Here's the onboard view of Devin Butler. Yeah, the 12 slipped the racetrack. The 12 and 79 made contact, and there's nowhere for Viola Ling to go. Ling would continue along with Danny Marco. Both are severely damaged. Orman gets a good jump on that restart. Caught Lamont sleeping, and of course the 3rd place car 14 can't go anywhere because he hit the 4 underneath of them, though the 4 is now falling backwards. Orman pulls away from the field on lap 53 of 160. We're not even halfway through this race. This has been a destructive mess. Casper Rackman, this 54 car. His good results are starting to stagger, and that 54 car is as fast as the leaders. Everett Masana, who is leading the points. Not leading the points, 3rd in the points, excuse me. Is trying to get as much ground as possible, considering Danny Marquez ran into some issues. And so Bogart Daniel is deep in the field. Caitlin Tannerhill, another driver we should probably mention, again, up inside the top 10. It seems like whenever nothing bad happens to her, Tannerhill is always inside the top 10. So, Tannerhill putting in another good result. Danny Marco is going a lap down, and looks like Lamont is going to use this as an opportunity to get around this 24 car. Good move made by Pierre Lamont. It's another real hit underneath. Looks like Orman checked up a bit to avoid the lap car of Danny Marco as he got out of the way. Lamont didn't. He's going to run down the back straight. Entering turn 3, it looks like the 24 car is just a bit stronger entering the straights, but it looks like Lamont has the better line entering turns 3 and 4. And it's going to try to slap from 24. No, not quite. Orman holds the line, and Lamont is going to take the spot. Nice move made by Pierre Lamont. Though it looks like Orman's stuck in the high side for some reason. That may allow Tim Courting to take a step. Orman doesn't, excuse me, Courting doesn't go for it. Orman down the back straight, making a move underneath his teammate. The Frenchman entering turn 3. Lamont looks like he's not going to try to fight him too much, though I think he would because Courting's behind him. But Tim Courting seemed to fall at 59 entering that turn, so I wonder if that's something. Saving tires, maybe. That doesn't look like it. Orman out of the groove again, and here comes Tim Courting, that 50 car. Courting, yet to win a race this year, has been relatively nowhere. Surprisingly. And, well, late in the season, granted he owns that team, but he is showing when the team needs a result, the boss is going to be the one to get it done. Here's Wesley Joel, this Ford car, you can see the leaders behind them. I don't think TRD is going to exist next year, but he is not paying any attention. Might be something to know that 19 car is behind them. I guess that's one way to be a team player for your team, where you're driving for, but regardless, Tim Courting under attack again from Nate Orman. Orman takes third as they have to turn number 4. Coming down the back straight now, he's going to come around the 19 car. This 24 car, really good in the high speed ovals. I don't know if it's the driver or the car. It might be the car because Lamont's up there, but Nate Orman definitely the master of these high speed ovals, as he's proving today. Devin Butler stuck behind Ryan Rickshaw and I hope Gaggle cars. I think they're all held up behind the. No, they're out behind the 3. This is the battle for the lead. Looks like contact. Ingrid Harrison puts 71 on the wall. Not exactly what you want to do. Both cars out of the race, and Butler is furious. Rightfully so. We're gonna give. I don't know if there's any penalty on that call. Anyways, Pierre Lamont takes the lead. Someone's furious on the inside line. Ryan Rickshaw attacking the car number 10. Nate Orman, horrible pit stop. He's falling on the 6th. The contact or someone threw a block in the background. Anyways, Everett Masana comes to the green flag. Mechanical problem. She's gonna bring it down to the pits. They had to put up on that 19 car, but she would return to the circuit. There's only one car in the championship hunt that hasn't had any mechanical issues, and that is that 24 car you see in the background trying to get his way to the front of the field. However, the battle for the lead is happening between Ryan Rickshaw and Pierre Lamont. Trying to fend off the A4 for all he's worth. The A4 is going to take the lead. Ryan Rickshaw, since there's new reliability upgrades, no, I say reliability upgrades, and came in, Ryan Rickshaw's been flying through the field. You see Pierre Lamont falling backwards. However, something I've noticed is, and it was something that Ryan Raver said in an interview, that wherever the reliability upgrades keeps the engine cooler than normal. Keeps the engine cooler, which means that the 2 Team Star USA cars have been able to push it for a lot longer period of time without the engine overheating, which is crucial, especially in these cars. You see the 19 was holding up the field, and Nate Orman is making his way to the field. Pierre Lamont going to try to get back to the top side of the podium. He's going to pass the 50 car of Tim Courting. Hello, Danny Marco not paying any attention, almost putting the 84 on the wall. And the 59 is going to take second, now try to run on the A4. As we mentioned, Ryan Rickshaw, rookie season, new upgrades that can help him keep the engine cooler than what once was. Really helping Rickshaw and to extent Ryan Raver in the later season of the season. Don't think it's going to matter much in the drivers' points, but still a good stepping stone for next year. Rickshaw, the next great American hope, as he's been called by some of the press here. Maybe, that's all I'm going to say about it. He hasn't really shown much. He's been greatly outpaced by Ryan Raver, but unfortunately, the only reason why he's going to be staying at the team next year is because Raver failed to qualify for the US 500, And almost immediately after that, it was announced that Raver wouldn't be returning to the 35 car. Lamont is going to have a run on Rickshaw as they catch the 4 car of Wesley Jewell. Though, Jewell solves that for Rickshaw. Rickshaw probably braving a sigh of relief, but I'm not sure for how long, because Lamont back on his bumper again. And here he comes down the back straight, entering turn number 3. Lamont really putting the pressure on Rickshaw and is going to slide up the racetrack. And here comes Courting, and here comes Jackson Storm, the 200 car from Florida. Courting is going to go take 3rd. Storm's going to try to follow. Storm is going to follow him, and will take 3rd for himself. Orman behind him. Actually, no, Rickshaw's going to try to fight the 200 car. Doesn't look like anything's going to come of it, though. He's going to fall further into the field. And granted, he only got a 4th, but he's not in the clutch of the Nate Orman, but here for how long? Storm fades over on the 84 car entering turn number 2. Courting, I think, moved with the racetrack to try to block the 200. That's not where the run's coming from. Rickshaw on the inside. As they come down the back straight, Courting now realizes where the run's coming from and covers the 84. Storm falls to 5th, as you get a view of it, as they catch the 79 car. They're going to try to split. Marco's not paying any attention. The 200, I think, just hit the wall. Storm furious over the radio. I don't think they can say, well, here's an onboard from the 79 car. There's the 200, and, well, Storm kept it out of the wall somehow, but still. Not happy with the 79's behavior. I don't think anyone would be, as the leaders have caught the 3 and the 19 who are racing side by side. Courting almost goes into the wall, but he's going to take the lead because of it. An aggressive move made by the Audi driver. And Swift Motorsports is going to be back into the lead, and Courting is looking for this team's first win since the start of the season, which is kind of surprising. Lamont, with help from the 84 car, is going to get around Courting, Rickshaw on the inside of Lamont Orman behind these two, as he's clearing the 50 himself. Rickshaw entering turn 1 is going to take the lead away from Pierre Lamont. Rickshaw having a career night here in California. Orman's going to get around his teammate of Pierre Lamont. Lamont's going to fall back again. This into the clutch of Tim Courting. Looks like Orman isn't exactly willing to clear his teammate for some reason. I don't know why that is. That might cost him, and it probably will cost him. Here comes Tim Courting underneath the pair of the Universal Motorsports cars, entering turn number 3. Orman's fighting him. Don't know if that's going to give Courting the advantage, but entering the front stretch, they're still side by side. Orman has second that lap. Rickshaw's lovingly singing, is trying to pull away. Courting got loose a bit. The Universal Motorsport cars reacted, and that's actually going to cost them both. Kind of. They're coming back on the outside on the back straight. Courting and Orman fighting for all their oath. They're both owner-drivers, both driving for their own teams. One's having a stellar season, one's having a season they'd like to forget. Courting takes second that lap. Lamont follows behind the 50 car. Orman's going to fall back a bit. Looks like Lamont might have around the 50 car, but nothing comes of it. Wesley Jewell, number 4 car, is coming up again. Rickshaw gets caught behind him. That looks like Courting does as well. He's going to fall a bit through the field. We're looking back at the 59 car. This is when that was happening. Everyone had to check up because of Wesley Jewell. And the Universal Motorsports cars are going to take advantage of it. Lamont to the inside of the 84. Down the back straight. Entering turns 3 and 4. And that will be position for Lamont. Lamont holds a spot. Rickshaw looks underneath the 84 and is going to take it. Here comes the 59 car. And he hits the 59. And around goes the first and third are both in the lawn out of the race. As the field comes screaming through, no one else gets hit. I have to wonder, I think Sully Sue just drove into the 59 car. Anyways. Hang on, Marco was giving them room, and Lamont, just drove through them. I want another view of that, but it looks like Danny Marco was giving them all the room in the world, and the 59 kind of just drove into the 79. Here, Sully Sousa, as expected, piling into the 59 car. Here's on board of Nate Orman, and we're going to get a clear-cut answer. There's Pierre Lamont in front of them. Dan Marco's at the racetrack, and yeah, Lamont had space, and he just didn't take it. Also, that 50 car of Orman checking up, Quartzing would take the lead. However, under pit stops, Nate Orman would retake the lead, and with another slow start by the 4 car, will start to pull away. Nate Orman going for 3 in a row, something that hasn't been done this season. Viola Ling has tried, as you can see. I don't think it's a surprise to anyone. Caitlin Tannerhout up inside the top 5. These runs are coming a bit more regular from her. I kinda wonder what would happen if she didn't have all those accidents early in the season. And the same for this man, Lou Grainer. Grainer has announced recently he's retiring at the end of the season. He leads the series in DNFs. I wonder what would be happening if he wasn't, being smashed up all the time. Here's Everett Masson, car number 19, getting lapped. Her night goes from bad to worse, and she's going to hold up the 424. Title rivals, and shenanigans. Tim Court is going to get around the 24 because of it. Here's another view of it. Orman held up by the 19. Courting has a run around the outside, almost hitting the clip in the 19, and it's going to take the lead. Nice move made by Courting, doing everything he can to try to win this race. Orman has a run on the inside of the 50 car. They're coming up on Wesley Chu, another Toyota, this time a TRD team. Contact! That was almost bad. I guess once the champagne over to the 4 car, but anyways. 65 is going to hit the pit lane, and Nate Orman will follow on lap 131. Not many laps left in this race, and we're going to see what these drivers can do on fresh tires. We're looking at Nate Orman in the pit lane. We're waiting for Tim Courting. Let's see, there's Courting in the background. Courting's exited the pits, coming out of the pits. Looks like Orman has the position. At the pace car, Courting takes the lead, and did the 24 just hit the pit wall? Here's another view of it. Orman's avoids the pace car and then drives into the pit wall. That's a mistake on Orman's part, and there's damage on the left-hand side. Orman might have just lost his race to a mental mistake, and the 65 and 12 have gotten past him. Tim Courting now trying to drive away to steal the victory. Meanwhile, the independent strafing driver Baton Sitton is trying to get around Caitlin Tannerhill of Mid-Atlantic Racing. Here comes Nate Orman, though, who is trying to get back to the front and take the win. For going 3 in a row, Viola Ling has now going to be next. Is going to be lapped and is going to get out of the way for Tim Courting. However, her being there or not is going to slow down the 50 car, and Orman's making a run around the 12. So that damage might not have affected him as much as we originally thought. Though he's making a move underneath the 50 car. 50 has left him space, but he can't pull alongside him. Nate Orman, again, hounds this 50. Is going to be hounding this 50 car for the next few laps. Trying to do anything he can to maybe take his 3rd win of the year. He's got more lap traffic ahead of him, though. This time it's more Toyotas of Victoria ended up Wesley Chu, and it decided to be a great time to run side by side. Here comes Baton Sitton, seizing an opportunity, trying to go in between Courting and Masana. That was close. They touch. There's more contact. Masana panics and bails out of that situation. Thankfully, that could have been a violent wreck. But the lead is still car number 50. Matthew Evans and Lou Grainer having great runs so far. Car 24 stuck again behind car number 50. Nothing he can do. Nothing he's been able to do is working. I wonder, left-hand damage on the left-hand side has to be doing something to that 24 aerodynamic, because the runs Orman's been getting on Courting earlier seem to be non-existent. They are catching Casper Ackerman, the 54 car. Let's see if this has anything to do. Has anything to... Let's see if Ackerman can help Orman. Let's put it like that, either intentionally or unintentionally. Ackerman holds his line, the 50 lines up the racetrack. And here comes Courting, look on one side, and he looks like Orman can't do anything. So Orman, even with black traffic, cannot get around this 50 car. That's a huge difference from earlier on in the race. That damage has to be affecting the 24 car. They catch the Toyotas again, and Courting pulls further ahead of the 24 as Everett Masana's night goes from bad to worse and worse to terrible. More mechanical problems. The 19 car, they won't go out of the race, as you saw by the radio message. Orman might finally have a run on this 50 car now. Courting, actually no, Courting sets up the racetrack. Here comes Orman. Not many laps left to go. This is lap 154. Now 155 when they cross the stripe. Jackson, the 48 car, going to be in the way. This is Jackson. Yeah, Jackson's at the top 10, I think. And this is his first time getting lapped, and there's nowhere for Fortune to go, but, well, stuck behind the 48. As you can see, Caitlin Tannehill is going to have a run on this 50 car. I don't think anything's going to happen because of it. No. Courting still in second. Now, lap 158. Underneath the 24. Orman going to try to fight him. Gives him space, though. And around, here comes the 50. Courting to the top spot once again. Caitlin Tannehill may try to make a run on the 24, but can't get it done. Coming out, exiting turn 2. This is the white flag. 1 lap to go. Can Orman do anything to get past the Audi of Tim Courting? Courting holds off the inside line. Orman I don't think Orman's gonna have a run. No, and Tim Courting is gonna take his first win of the season and Swift Motorsports' second win of the season in a thrilling duel with Nathan Ormond. Caitlin Tannehill third, another podium for her, and Baton sitting fourth, Evans fifth. Grainer the top 10 and 6th. A great run for Grainer this weekend at Edinburgh, called all the way from 34 first take 7th. Storm and Newgood were the last 2 cars to finish on the lead lap, and Jarrett Jackson was able to salvage a top 10 out of tonight. Good run by him and for Casper Ackerman. Viola Lang wanted more. Joel had a lot of damage, and Everett Masana with a lap car to finish the race. It was a destructive evening. The drivers you see on screen currently are the only cars that are eligible for the title. The next one in Virginia was certainly small on that number. We'll catch you next time.